July 31st. What's the last thing you'd think could happen to a group home kid on the run? Him meeting a girl, right? Think about it. The guy hasn't showered in days, no place to stay, chased by the cops, pretty much wears the same gear 24/7. Shit's basically impossible, right? Think again, partner, because that's exactly what happened. 2 nights ago at some ghetto ass baseball park in National City, I met a girl, a fine ass Mexican one named Flocka, and we both fell in damn love, man, almost the second we met. Here's how it went down. Earlier, me and Rondell were wandering around Imperial Beach for the third day in a row trying to brainstorm our next move, but nothing was coming to either of us. Again, when we were going to Mexico, at least we had a goal. Now we didn't have shit. We knew we couldn't go home. Rondell didn't even have a home. We knew we couldn't go back to the lighthouse. We were just two wandering ass kids now, cruising any which way on random sidewalks in San Diego with bags full of everything we owned hanging from our shoulders. We caught a local bus going north and only got off because the driver called last stop. We both bought tacos and ate them on a curb between two parked cars, watching these construction guys tear apart an old liquor store and carry pieces of wall to an old dinged up dump truck. When the sun started going down, we just randomly wandered into this rundown park. As we got down to the baseball field part, though, we spotted a group of like 5 girls already there, sitting in a circle drinking cans of beer. We stopped. They looked up at us. At first, I was gonna have us roll back out, find some other place to chill, but instead we walked way on the other end of the field from them. They went back to what they were doing. Me and Rondell sat with our backs against this rusted chain link fence in the right field and watched the sky. I told him we'd probably have to steal from the store to get back the money. It was the only way I could think of. I told him if we tried to do regular jobs, they'd look up our names and we'd be screwed. Plus, I don't think places will even hire you if you don't have an address to write down, which sort of made me think about all the times I've walked past a homeless dude begging for change and thought, yo, money, you need to get up off your ass, find yourself a job. People reading this journal will probably be thinking that exact same thing about me and Rondell, that we should just get jobs like everybody else. And I wish we could, but it ain't that easy, man. Trust me. And I know it don't sound right, us robbing one place to pay back another. But like I told Rondell, we just steal from a place that makes so much damn money they won't know the difference, like a McDonald's or Starbucks or Walmart. We both got mad quiet after I told him that, probably because the shit was easier said than done. And if we got caught, everything, including us paying back the petty cash, would be ruined. I thought for the first time how basically we might be fucked no matter what we did, because how many more nights could we sleep on the beach or in a park? Just so you know, you can't even really sleep, man. You always got one eye open, looking out for somebody who might try to roll your ass. Just having a place to crash at night is a bigger deal than most people realize. Anyways, I started picturing the store we'd have to rob, how we'd have the cash person count out exactly how much we needed to make $750, not a dollar extra, when 2 girls from the group started walking over to us, sipping their cans of beer. A Mexican girl even Diego would say is fine. Who are you guys? The bigger girl said. She had on a black Dickies jacket and these tight ass white pants. Her bangs stuck up in the air like old girl had on a damn visor. We're nobody, I said. You gotta be somebody, the prettier one said. Everybody's somebody. She had on a short jean skirt and tank top that said, Here comes trouble. Her legs were long and brown and perfectly shaped. I told her, We ain't nobody from around here, man, that's for sure. The pretty one looked at her friend and rolled her eyes, and then looked back at us. So where are you from then? She said. I picked up a rock like Diego would have done and tossed it in the air, caught it, real mellow style, like I wasn't even thinking about them. Portugal, I said, because it was the first thing that popped into my head. Portugal, she said, looking all shocked. She took a sip of beer and thought about that for a sec. Nah, I don't think so. Real people from Portugal speak Portuguese. I promise. Then let me hear you say something in Portuguese. I made some crazy ass random sounds and turned to Rondell, said, Ain't that right, dog? Rondell looked at me all confused. That wasn't no Portuguese, the bigger one said. How do you know? I said. Okay, then what'd you say then? The pretty one said. She had a tiny hoop ring in her nose, silver. I said, Man, it sure is nice of these girls to come offer us a beer, especially since we were just saying how thirsty we are. She walked up close to me, so close I could smell her lotion, and my heart started going all quick. She grinned a little and said, "Oh, you're one of those comedian guys." She turned to the bigger one and said, "Yo, Jules, he's one of them comedian guys." "Great," Jules said, and took a long swig of beer. "Yo, we just got your girl Jules's name," I said to the pretty one. "What's up with yours?" She looked at me for a sec and then held out her can of beer. I took it and pulled a long swig, then rested it on my knee. "I'm Flocka," she said. "Nice to meet you, Flocka," I said back. "I'm Miguel, and this is Rondell." Rondell gave her a what's up with his head. Flocka snatched her beer out of my hand, told us, anyways. She kneeled down, balanced her can of beer in the grass, and retied her shoelace. Then she stood up and motioned for Jules to follow her over to the other girls. After she got a few steps away, she turned around, backpedaling, said, "You guys can come if you want to, long as you don't try to rape us or some shit. But I wouldn't, because Jules got mace, right, Jules?" "I got 2 cans," Jules said. "One for each of them fools." They laughed and kept walking, and me and Rondell looked at each other. It seemed like we were both sort of curious, or at least I know I was, for the simple fact that I'd never flirted with a girl so fine as Flocka, and my game seemed like it was flowing too. I was saying shit straight out of Diego's playbook without even thinking about it. I nodded to Rondell. We got up and followed after them. We joined in the group and got 2 warm beers out of somebody's duffel bag, and the girls started talking nonstop. There were 5 of them, and they said stuff about kids in their neighborhood mostly, or in their school, or at some fair they'd just gone to the night before. But the whole time I could tell Flocka was kind of looking at me on the slick. Not like how regular people look at each other, more like how girls look at Diego. After we'd all been talking for a while, she even made an excuse to come sit closer to me. She crossed through the circle and got all up in my face, said, "Yo, hold up." All the girls went dead quiet and turned to look at us. Flocka pointed at me and Rondell and said, "We're sitting here telling these fools our entire life story, and they haven't said shit." "Not a peep from either of them," the skinny girl with a birthmark on her cheek said. "Yo, should I get my mace?" Jules said. Flocka smiled at her girl and then turned back to me on the serious. "I'm for real this time," she said. "Who are you guys? And don't give us no shit about Portugal," Jules said. Everybody got real quiet, waiting to see what I was going to say, even Rondell. I took a long sip of beer and shuffled through shit in my head. "Nah, man," I said all calm. "It's just that me and Rondell ain't nothing that special. We're visiting from Idaho with his parents, who are both zoologists. They went to Tijuana for a couple days to study about these wild rabbits they got down there. We said we'd just stay here and wait. That's it." Flocka made a face at her girls. "Boring as hell, right?" I said. "About as boring as it gets," Flocka said. She punched me in the arm. The rest of the girls seemed to think it was boring enough too, and they went right back to talking about themselves. Flocka didn't move back to where she was, though. She stayed right next to me, and before they all left to go home, she told me and Rondell about some house party they were going to the next night, and that we should come with them. "That's cool," I said, and shrugged how Diego always shrugs when girls ask him to do something. "It's going to be huge," Jules said, slipping on her backpack. "The guys throwing it all go to college. They're in a fraternity." "You can come with us if you want," Flocka said. "That's cool," I said again. "Where you want us to pick you up?" Me and Rondell looked at each other, and I turned back to Flocka, sipping my beer. I wiped my mouth with the back of my hand, said, "How about you just come get us right here?"